So I think it's fair to say that we are the rookies in the room. I'd just like to thank Mark and the team here for inviting us along to share our ideas and share our new platform. So my name's Nana and this is Matthew, and we run a digital design agency called Rora Media. And we recently, as Mark said, launched a new magazine called Illicit. And I'm just going to wait a couple seconds. So illicit.co is the website, and it's a bit of a risky click. So when you are Googling it, I had a slide to go with that terrible joke, but when you are Googling it, just be sure to Google Illicit Collective and you'll find us. So Illicit is a magazine, started recently, and it's primarily a look at arts, technology and culture, but with the view of not necessarily news, but to come up with ideas or express ideas that you might not find on another site. So it's a bit of an eclectic mix. There's a very beautiful website. So we have a team of writers, all of which are volunteers, but they all share in our vision of creating a magazine that can just express the views of people on the ground, a little bit like grassroots journalism, I guess. All of our volunteers come from lots of different backgrounds. So we've got people that are journalist students, graduates that are working in professions. You've got us, we're graphic designers by trade, and the idea really spurred out of being that we're from the creative industries. We come to a lot of events such as this, and you hear ideas, or like Scoop Analytics, you hear ideas that you think, wow, that's really interesting. I wish I could share that with more people. And sometimes if it's just on social media, it can get lost in the ether that is social media. So we decided to create our own magazine. And the idea was born really when Matt and I met at college, and then we went on to university. We'd started our company, our design agency, whilst we were at college, and before we went to uni. And at uni, you often, as I'm sure most of you know, get really brain damaged essays and dissertations to write. So for example, Matt and I had an essay about the advantages and disadvantages of PHP and C# and scalability. And so as naturally as you do, we just started to procrastinate and think about how many hundreds of hours are going into reports, essays, and people are actually studying subjects that they love. I mean, we love what we do, but that wasn't a very particularly interesting essay to write. But we thought, once we've written this report or essay or dissertation, it's going to get handed in, we'll get a grade, and then we'll move on for our lives, forget about it. But what if we could just take snippets of these interesting insights that people have put a lot of time researching and put it into consumable content so people can actually make something of the time that they've put into it.
Yeah. I think that's me. Okay. I don't need that. That's fine. Cool. So what we wanted to do when we started Illicit, and stress that quite clearly, is that we didn't want to create a news website. There's companies out there who do that really, really well, and we'll be able to do that far better than we could ever anticipate to try. So that wasn't our interest at all. What we wanted to do was we wanted to give people a place that they could visit online that gave them a random experience every single time they visited, with different types of stories, with content that they would never anticipate reading or thinking about reading. And it was that sort of randomness of social media that we saw, particularly on our own feeds, where we would see different types of articles coming up, and there was this vast collection of things that were unrelated and not correlated, and we thought, why not put that onto a central location and use great content created by people who are already in the midst of doing that, either at university or through their own personal interests. So the way that we work the magazine is, Nana and I are designers, so we don't write content, that's not what we do.
Or we're doing just really bad.
Or we do it really badly, if that's how it comes down to it. But what we do is a writer will come to us, generally speaking, with an idea or an article, and being that we're a design agency, we will help them flesh out that content. So if they need assistance with photography or videography or creating a podcast or however it is they want to share their story in whatever medium they want to share it in, we assist them in creating that. That's really the only part that we have to do with it. We then post it online, and the rest of it is kind of just us sharing it and trying to market it the best that we can. The articles on the site are randomised, so the content that's just been posted isn't necessarily the one that always comes up first, and that was intentional because we wanted the magazine itself to have a kind of content base that wasn't breaking or current. It was about interest. It was about somebody going on and finding out something about something they'd never considered before, and that being different from what you normally get when you go to a news website in the morning and you find what's happening right now. There was a break from that. It was something different. The content that's created is entirely by volunteers. They will be assisted by us in every way that we can, through either helping, as I said, with writing or with content. But outside of that, we'll also come across people at networking events or meetings. We'll ask them if they can tell their story to us for the website. So they will, if they feel comfortable enough to write that content themselves, then they do it and we assist them, or if not, we can send one of the writers that we know is perhaps good at writing that sort of content, and they'll do that and help them create something. So that's really how it works. We wanted Illicit, when people came on it, to be a natural experience. We wanted it to be unusual. We wanted it to be thought-provoking and not directed at any particular user, but directed at everyone at the same time with the sort of ideas that could be shared in that platform. And that was it. Thank you.
Thank you.